Questions?
Liberty comes in just after playing a very strong, tough game against VCU, which came right down to the wire. They're an excellent three-point shooting team. They can space the floor. They have a top-notch player in John Dawson, who's a redshirt, fifth-year senior transfer from Marquette that can score inside and out. And they have a good group of experience returning from a team last year that's on the rise in their league. They're picked at the top of their league this year and are playing very hard for Coach Richie McKay, who has been a head coach at a number of different places, a guy that I respect very much in the coaching profession. Was with Tony Bennett at Virginia for a number of years, and then is actually in his second stint at Liberty. So it'll be a challenge for our team to improve game to game after the UMass Lowell game, to make improvements in our defensive fundamentals, our defensive coverages, and continue to improve offensively.
Okay, Mike?
Now that Josh has a couple games under his belt, I mean, what are some of the teaching points you guys are kind of emphasizing with him as he kind of gets through this month?
As you've seen, Josh really plays at a fast pace and pushes our team. He can get the ball up the floor quickly. So we want him to continue to do that with better decision on the go, on the run, and to get that ball distributed, to look for more opportunities to get it to the paint. There was a stretch in the game against UMass Lowell where we went 7 or 8 possessions without paint touches, and that's a big thing with Coach Crean, is to play through the paint. And Josh's decision making in those situations continues to grow. And you have to remember too, now Josh does have 3 games under his belt. He has 2 exhibition games under his belt, or will have 3 games under his belt, 2 exhibition games, but didn't play last year and was coming off surgery. So when you look at where he's headed, where he came from, he's really on the rise. But just like the rest of our team, still areas to grow.
How much has shooting been an emphasis with him, just kind of getting in the gym and I guess work on the shot with no consistency?
A lot. And he has improved it tremendously from when he came. I think his confidence has grown in it. His percentage will continue to rise as he takes good ones. He is going to be very good off the bounce, and especially in our pick and roll offense. He's going to be able to step in there and hit that pull-up jump shot off the bounce, which is the one thing that he's continuing to work on. His three-point off the catch is good when he gets time and space.
Mike?
Coach Crean mentioned you need to feed the post a little bit better. Is that something that normally happens as the season goes along, or are you without your point guard from last year? Is there a little bit of an adjustment period here at the beginning, you think?
I think most coaches will say we need to feed the post more at this time of year, because it's something that's definitely a developmental skill. And we like to play fast, we like to shoot those threes, and so you have to have a continued emphasis on throwing that ball in there. And we have a tremendous post player, obviously, in Thomas Bryant, and Deron Davis is good in there. But we also can post up our guards. You see James Blackman get into the post and draw some fouls. So it's something that we continually work on. And again, there's 2 aspects to it. There's the fundamental aspect of your spacing and your pass fakes and your positioning in the post. And then there's the awareness aspect of, as that ball gets reversed, even before you catch it, knowing that post is going to have an angle and get it in there. And that's the aspect that we really continue to have to grow with.
Where is James improved on defense?
James's awareness off the ball is far better this year. His help side defense is far better. The thing about James was, last year his defense was getting better, as was our team's when he was hurt, and he would have continued to get better with his defense as our teams did. And he's picked right up where he left off with that. He sees the ball and is man better off the ball. He anticipates it more off the ball, and he's strong enough and athletic to keep the ball handler in front of him and not get those angled drives. So he's made a lot of improvement. He still has to get better, as does our whole team in screening actions.
Sam?
We've seen Deron look pretty comfortable in the post, just back to the basket. I guess what's impressed you with him there particularly?
Deron has very soft hands. He's a wide body guy. You know, when he catches the ball in the post and has it chinned with his backside, the defender is quite a ways away from the ball, so he can carve out space in there. And he has an excellent awareness. He's a very good high-low post passer. So as he gets more and more time and the game slows down for him a little bit more out there, he'll develop even more. And he's good with either hand, either his right or left hand, and he's still continuing to get in shape and to be able to play longer and longer stretches.
What are your thoughts on maybe, because of the way refs call fouls now, a lot of fouls being called, of adding a 6th foul as opposed to just 5 fouls?
Yeah, then we really get like the NBA. You know, we really get like the NBA. I think over the course of time, people have always said, why would we penalize our players by, you know, it's the only sport where you can remove a guy by fouling out. I don't know if that's even true, if that's the only sport, but I wouldn't be for that personally. I think our game is great. 5 fouls, you have to make adjustments, you have to learn how to play without fouling. And early in the year, you always see the new rule points of emphasis, right, that are highly regarded and highly followed. And then as the year goes on, players make adjustments, officials make adjustments, and the game smooths out.
Go ahead.
In the last game, we kind of saw a glimpse of what was possible when Thomas Bryant and Jerron Davis were on the floor at the same time. What did you see from those sets, and how much of that can we see going forward?
Well, that's something that I'm sure we'll continue to implement as we move forward with it. Obviously, the post presence is really good. The thing that probably goes unnoticed is now you have 2 big body screeners, so that frees up the perimeter even more and gives you an advantage, we're hopeful, with points in the paint. So a coach has a number of different sets, a number of different packages for Deron and Thomas when they play together, and that's something that we'll continue to see as we move forward.
Go ahead, Josh.
There's been a lot of talk about Indiana this year being a positionless basketball team. What is it about the personnel that's led to that working, and is it something that is going to continue to be implemented in the future?
It's the skill development. You know, Tom Crean has a time-tested history of skill development, going back to Dwayne Wade and Marquette and the guys he had there and the guys that he had here. And if you watch our practices, you see Thomas Bryant working on splitting ball screens as well as Rob Judson and Josh Newkirk. And so offensively, the positionless basketball comes from that skill development. First 2 shots Thomas made against Kansas were threes, which opened up the court for everybody else. And then, as I mentioned, being able to post up guards makes a big difference as well. So that positionless basketball is kind of the hot phrase right now. It's kind of the NBA word. You certainly want to be positionless on defense, because the more positions that you can guard as a player, the more versatile you are, the better that you are. And we have a number of guys that are able to do that on the defensive end.
Mike?
Rob and Josh are pretty even on the assist numbers. Do you think they're going to like share that main ball handler role throughout the whole season here?
It'd be great if they continued to share that and continued to have those assist levels up. Having combination guards, again, goes along with that positionless basketball. You know, who's the point? If we're getting pressure by one defender, then we can shift it over to the other one. And so Rob, the second half particularly against UMass Lowell, really created and made some nice passes in the second half. Another guy who has a talent for that is Devontae Green. So watch for him. He still has some turnovers where he tries to force it a little bit too much, but he's a creative passer, and he can really open up the defense with his vision, especially in a full court game.
Juwan's got 7 as well.
Okay.
7 assists, 1 turnover.
Juwan is a tremendous point forward. And again, the positionless basketball. You know, Juwan can bring that ball up the court if we're being pressured at the other guards, and then that allows Rob and Josh to go receive screens and to create space off the ball.
Anything else for Coach Judd?
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.